11, 10 or 11.
Hey, True Believers England team here. We're just chatting action figures and whatever the heck. Hello to Eric Breen. Eric,
Tonight's
back issue Breen. How you doing?
Tonight's Hawk Ma'am is sponsored by Jays.
I
We're going
freaking
Canadian.
wish.
Play, all dressed.
That would
And nowhere to
definitely
go.
be some money in the coffers right there.
You made a mistake on your thumbnail.
Yeah, what was it?
We're actually going to be talking about Galaxy and her same-sex sisters featuring HawkGirl.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's the thing. I've never read this. I've only heard you
Me
and
too, I
Bateman
don't
go
want
off
to.
on it. So I thought it
Oh.
might be fun to read through this, and whenever you guys have something to say about it, you got a joke to make the joke. I'll do the same, of course. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun with it. Before let's talk about the legal bullshit before we get out there. I don't give if a character's gay. I really don't, so long as they're written well. But unfortunately, what we have going on now is a whole bunch of writers that instead of finding the voice of a character, put their own voices in there, and they put their own agendas in there. And we had that with Captain America for quite a while with Ta-Nehisi Coates writing it. Ta-Nehisi Coates is not particularly a fan of America. Therefore, Captain America wasn't a particular fan of America. We, in my opinion, we haven't seen the real Captain America since Brubaker's run, even before that when he got shot in the head. So we do get this all over the place. And look, once again, if this is a well-written comic, we probably wouldn't be bitching about it. But what ends up happening is
I'm not so sure.
they just go over and over and over again, ruining these characters. Rather than writing who the characters are, they put themselves into these characters and mess them up. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun.
I'm going to, before you start,
Sure.
I'm going to disagree with that because I don't care how well Tim Drake Robin
Yeah,
would
that's
have been
true.
written. You took 30 years of heterosexuality and his character, that being a major part of who he was not only Stephanie. There was Ariana. There was a number of girls that he was involved with during his 180 something issue run. HawkGirl's been around for over 20 years now, and her entire personality has been thrown away. So Jazdia Axelrod, who was a man, now living as a woman, once can make her the second self-insert of this book because Galaxy is her, and now so is HawkGirl.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah.
Sorry, Breen, correct me if I'm wrong, but Galaxy is actually a character that she created someplace else.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
for a
did
YA novel.
HawkGirl created this? Who is she?
Who?
Galaxy?
No, who is, you're saying she? Who's the she that created?
No, he's talking about Galaxy. Jazdia Axelrod. Galaxy is her.
I see what you did there.
Ah, well, I thought
the author.
Yeah.
The author. Okay.
I just want to say on your thumbnail.
So this guy's calling himself Galaxy and saying he's a woman now.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying you missed a totally awesome opportunity. You could have had the woman crossed out. It crossed out the man part and the woman.
Look,
Yeah.
I don't care if Jazdia Axelrod says she's a woman. I do have a problem with her taking a character that's been around for 20 years and throwing everything about it away for a miniseries that no one cares about, but will now any future iteration of HawkGirl will have to be Jazdia Axelrod's version, just like any version of Tim Drake going forward is going to have to be Megan Fitzmartin's. The best you can hope for is that the new sexuality is ignored when better writers use that character. In a
I agree. It's like Barbie saying, you know what? Screw all the girls that buy the thing. We're going to aim it towards men now.
No.
You know, people would be
That would be
pissed.
nice because one of the complaints is also that these writers, these people do not know how to write adventure stories, and you end up getting coffee shop talk.
Right.
You get She-Hulk, where literally it's about her getting coffee. I am not making that up. It would be, I'm going to go get coffee. Okay, fine. Last page is a little, I'm going to get angry.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
comics were majority were aimed towards boys. You know, I'm not against having, you know, if you can write a story aimed for boys and then, you know, girls may actually enjoy too, but you should not just say, you know what, it's a girl character. So you know, screw. We don't care about guys anymore. We're just going to aim it towards girls now.
Well, one thing that I think is completely ignored here is one of the greatest comic books of all time. Not just by me. I know Eric hasn't really read it, but this is like, it's almost not even opinion. It is just fact that The Sandman is one of the greatest comic book runs of all time. It had everything we would call woke in it, right? These days. Yet we never thought of it like that. We just thought of it as good storytelling. And I think it's because they were original characters and they were written well. They were more than just their identity, and that is one of the things that is completely different.
That was desire, that character desire. Netflix really made it all about sexuality.
Something that the people that have assigned themselves to the right side of history and like to attack us for, they said, you know, anytime there's a strong woman in a book, it's woke. I was talking to my brother tonight, who's finally home, which means my long national nightmare is over.
Okay.
I'm no longer babysitting that store. Yes. But they watched the first two John Wicks on the plane coming home. And he was talking about he goes, now the women were much better fighters than the men. And I said, yeah, that's, and he goes, would that, would that be considered woke in some circles? I go, not really, because if it's organic and it's, if they're original characters and it's not woke if that's just part of the story. I said, the analogy I used was, but if they had like a wrestler's intro on their way into their first scene with things going off in the background going, better than all the men, now coming to the arena. Yeah, that's the difference.
I don't know if I agree that the women were better fighters in John Wick. Like Wonder Woman there, Adrienne Palicki, she went in and got to John Wick by surprise. He was also distracted because Willem Dafoe had shot a bullet into his pillow to kind of wake him up that there's somebody in there. And also, John Wick pretty much did in Batwoman. What's her name?
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose, yeah.
Well, the point was that they could fight, but they were trained. Those characters, they were trained assassins and whatnot, and that was part of the plot. It wasn't that now a character that's like all of a sudden Mary Jane can kick everybody's ass because she's a super. No, that's the difference.
Yeah, the Mary Sue thing where it just instantly it's like a character for the past 60 years has never been nothing more than maybe she took some Krav Maga, whatever, and she had a gun, but she can't also just be like the best, she's not Spider-Girl. She's not, it's the point where we saw this with Rey. And as much as I'm not a huge anti of the prequel stuff or the new, that's not prequel, but the sequels.
Yeah.
But it is kind of lazy writing. We have to admit about that.
Okay.
But
before we, oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
I was just saying, see, there's offensive writing and then there's lazy writing. Lazy writing, I don't mind so much. It's more the offensive writing where it's basically 80+ meant to be in your face, say, if you don't like this, you're a bigot. That kind of bullshit.
I mind both if I got to pay for it.
Let me say hello to the chat here, guys. Hello, Jay's in the house. How you doing? Cartoons and comics. One slick dude saying they did the same thing with Bobby Drake, of course. Cartoon says apparently Chuck Dixon said that's hatred from the elite of the working class and the middle class. They hate us and what we believe, so they need to destroy everything we believe in. Hey, Omar Harris, what's up? Gay or bi? It's gay if it's in comics. They'll say bi, but we as Eric said, we probably saw the last time Tim Drake has dated a woman in the comics.
When I say lazy writing, it's like Greatest American Hero level of lazy writing. Not offensively bad. It's just,
I like that show. I've got
Yeah,
that on DVD.
I know, but I mean, like comparing to some of the other shows are out.
Okay.
You know.
Let's see. Moran, you said not everyone uses past continuity in writing later stories after drastic changes to comic book characters. See, of course, Team Tony. MK saying, "Hey guys, what's up? So, which controversy do you guys think is bigger this week? Blue Beetle race stuff or Snow White Zegler stuff?" I, in all honesty, I think the Zegler stuff. It's destroying a movie before it's in theaters.
Dolph Ziggler?
The Rachel, yeah.
Might as well be Dolph.
Right.
Exactly
Certain
like
Black
the
Pill
She's
channels
here to
see
show
any
the
checkbox
world.
character and immediately call the project woke. Yeah, I've called them out for that too. Constantine had to fight Wonder Woman and Batwoman, says MK. Elektra and Daredevil, Frank Miller runs good stuff. I agree. This new stuff where Elektra and Daredevil are Daredevil, bullshit. It's crap. It's big ass crap. I stopped reading Daredevil. That's how bad it freaking got. Daredevil's one of my go-to heroes.
I stopped about the last 4 issues. I haven't cared, for it. I think it's right when they brought in the Punisher thing. That's when I quit, and I was just like, I just don't want to see anything to do with Jason Aaron's crappy version of a Punisher.
I managed to sell these 2 books. Yay! So
yeah. So hey,
right,
just
let's
get started. Sorry, just real quickly, because just to go back to something that Eric was talking about. With HawkGirl, Hawkwoman, you do have one advantage that you don't have with other characters in terms of if you want to ignore this current continuity is
you can kill her off.
Kendra, you can always go and write a new HawkGirl book and have it based on Shiara.
There you go. All right, so this is issue number 1 of a 6-issue miniseries. Soaring into the future. I usually talk about the cover first. It's a basic poster cover. That, in all honesty, I've been noticing is also something modern day artists do. Are poster covers. It seems like they've drawn a whole bunch of pictures. So when DC needs a cover, they could just bring it, and instead of it being something to do with what's in the book itself, which I got to tell you, Eric, I'm coming around on. You remember when we first started all this, I was like, wait a second, I like those painted covers. But now I got to tell you, I like the trade dress, and I prefer a cover that tells me what's going on inside.
Okay, I want to be the contrarian here. So
what? You never.
In this case, for the first issue of a book, pinup cover I think is okay because you don't really have a story yet.
Well, you don't have a story after you finish issue 2 either.
All right, let's get this thing started up.
I just want to say on the cover, she looks more like a man than she looks more like a woman. They really
I don't think
toned
so.
Her out.
Yeah, not good. Okay, here we go. Get past the advertise. Oh, what the hell is this?
You just haven't seen an athletic woman in a gym thing.
There we go. Come on, let's get to.
Well,
the beginning.
I don't want to go to jail. I don't go to the gym.
Okay, so it starts off. Once upon a time, there was a fox. She was as so many women, and foxes are much cleverer than those around her. More than that, she had no qualms letting others know. And as is so often the way with women and foxes, she was punished for it. The world that had seemed an unending paradise to the fox attempted to bring her to heel. She was placed in shackles made of living briars and thorns, plants whose ever-searching tendrils wound around her legs and bit into her stomach. So apparently, okay, she's full of herself. I mean, we're seeing that with Rachel Zegler right now. She came out, not only was she like, oh, you got to see my movie, she was like, you know that one that's been beloved for 80 years? It sucks. So, yeah, nobody likes somebody who's arrogant.
Is she the one that's doing the Snow White thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I'm like,
you're wondering who she was?
Yeah, I'm like, I recognize the name. I just don't have the face. You know that.
Okay. So the book goes on. The prison would steal her laughter. The roots would bind her dance. The pain would make her modest and pliable and acceptable. And she falls. She's saying, watch it. Instead, the fox uprooted the briars that held her fast and left for another world entirely. I will start over, the fox said. I will begin anew. Somebody reaches out to the young lady, says, may I offer a hand? Maureen, and this lady's looking pretty ugly. There you go. She has come to regret that decision. Okay, cut to Garden Town 50 years ago. and we see what looks like that redheaded lady. Nostalgia was correct. The weather always is better in the past.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jackson said, "Well, I can't make it past this first page." Well, that's because you don't have anything to put on that word salad. I prefer Ken's Steakhouse blue cheese.
Well, I just want to know: does the fox like green eggs and ham?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Ken's makes a good.
Personally, I believe in. I prefer Marie's blue cheese, but this is who
the
we
fox
are.
says you should like this book.
That is who we are being sponsored by, apparently. I don't know. Okay, so the redhead leans down a little girl, says, "Hello, Marine. My name is Vulpecula.
Hey, little girl.
Vulpecula. Would you like a gift? I can give you whatever your tiny heart desires." And she holds out, that looks like the Vixen pendant. "All that I ask in return is that you wear this necklace, never take it off, and you give me what I want when we meet again. What do you say, my little star of the sea? Sound fair?"
Sound like a pedo.
And she says, "You'll give me whatever I want. I will. You only need to ask." She says, "I must be invited, you see. I can't do anything unless you let me in." Okay, so it's kind of a Dracula thing.
Dun.
Say again?
I said dun dun dun.
Yeah. So
yeah, sounds like Supernatural. Invite me in, say yes, and I'll possess you. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's basically the horror supernatural trope, but I mean it's not subtle at all.
Ugh.
Vulpecula, Vulture, Pedo, and Dracula, says Cleanser. Okay, so the little girl asks for a pony, and she says, "Done," and disappears as the mom calls, "Maureen, sweetie, come here." They have a surprise. And did we get shut down? Okay. We see somebody riding a horse. Once upon a time, there. Say again.
I was going to say. I was just telling you right now, the reason you're having issues with that is his DC sucks when you're trying to share it.
Okay. Once upon a time, there was a woman who made a bargain. Most worlds run on bargains and trades on for this and for that. And Maureen thought she'd gotten the better end. She is everything she's ever wanted. Maureen knows she should head back to the stable. She should have done so the moment the rain began. She's just so happy riding the horse. And Maureen would tell you that she's lived a charmed life, that she lives in a fairy tale. But Maureen would know that in fairy tales and old legends, deals made are ironclad, promises are inescapable. And a big old fox jumps out at her. Cut 2. Once upon a time, there was a hawk. She's had better days. And we see her fighting a... Okay, what is it? "We will burn your planet to..." Oh, it's Antifa.
Better days.
Okay.
It looks like it too.
There we go. And it says written by Jadzia Axelrod and drawn by Amanke Nahu.
If they give her a giant maze,
Don't even try.
Okay. I mispronounced Simonson. So yeah.
It's Lewis Simonson, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Lewis Simonson. Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, it's funny if you just go back to the previous page for a second. If you look at who the artist they chose for the variants, it shows the lack of confidence and belief they had in those.
Covered by Derek Chu and Otto Schmidt, Brad Walker and Brad Anderson.
Yeah.
Who?
I want that 1 in 50 variant from Mateus. Okay.
All righty. So we see Black Canaries joined her, and she's saying, "I just asked how you're holding up. You moving to Metropolis was surprising. That's all. Are you planning to stay here?" You asked Batman how he's doing. Ugh, even the women are misogynists. Mm-hmm. Come on, get with it. I don't ask Batman anything I don't already know the answer to. As long as I've known you, you've been a part of a team. The Justice League, Justice Society, Birds of Prey, the Totality, the Black Hawks, and HawkGirl or Hawkwoman, whatever is saying, "Please do not remind me of the Black Hawks." What's wrong with Black Hawks? It was a whole thing. I'll tell you later, says Superman. How are they? Okay, I can understand how Superman's hearing each other, but I'm getting there. First of all, they're standing in a clump. They're not actually spread out doing anything. but they're surrounded by what? Fire on all sides. Who's starting the? Are these little firemen?
Come on now. I mean,
on?
this is a typical, comic book thing that, that people are talking to each other in the middle of the fight when we know that they would have to be screaming and yelling at each other, with the amount of noise.
Like that scene in Shazam where Savannah is talking to him and he's like, "What? I can't hear you."
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I can see what you mean about, you got the shoulders, you got the arms. Now, I've seen female bodybuilders look like this. So
I'm just saying she's like, they just went really into that, the point where she has no boobs. But
I've seen female bodybuilders.
I know. I'm not a fan of it, though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Are you going to stay here and not fly away with the league gone? You must be lonely. And I carry the memories of millions of previous lives every moment of every day, she's saying, which, first of all, I'm not sure I'm into this dialogue at all. Like, what information are they trying? She's moving away. And I like this part. At least it tells a little bit about who the character is, but still, it just seems very clear. I know
there's a lot of emotional validating of HawkGirl in this scene.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And LK is wondering if you fell asleep because you just put your head down and went through.
No, I'm trying to find something, and I'm listening. So.
Yeah, will to live.
We see
honestly, LK said it before. Her character then is so pointless, so bad at the point where you can just kill her and she'll reincarnate again. And you can clean the slate.
It's not like you can't do a good run, though. Like in the 2000s, there was a good HawkGirl run.
If you have a good writer who actually knows how to write.
And people enjoyed the character. She was their Hawk for the Justice League for like 10 years. HawkGirl was the preferred Hawk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, that's the amazing thing that when you look at, especially like, should be the generation that's writing this, they're the ones that probably would have grown up watching Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
And that was a kick-ass Shi'ara.
And it's better. And this is crap compared to that.
The HawkGirl series that came out of Hawkman, think about who wrote that. He's pretty much been canceled by the modern audiences and would never be allowed to get within a country mile of writing HawkGirl again.
The funny thing
is
Howard
Shaken.
They complain about old white men and writing books. Well, this is an old white man with boobs writing.
They've been.
Well, that's as close as a man's ever going to get to writing HawkGirl again.
I mean,
because that's one of the new rules of comics.
Isn't that how Dan Slott's still in business?
And one of the problems with modern comics is they complain about old white men buying comic books. All right, so she says because she has all the memories, she's never lonely. Bullshit. We all remember stuff, and I'm sorry. That's not a substitute for companionship.
That's how you ignore all the previous stuff beforehand and say I'm never lonely because she doesn't know anything about the previous art. I bet you this person never read any of the other stuff before this.
Wasn't required to.
No.
Also, I would like to point out that this is also another problem of modern day writing. Now, one of these little creatures say, "You shall burn for the gas god," and HawkGirl hits him saying, "No one cares." Exactly. What you did here was you made, what is this? Robots? Alien race? Is it? What are we fighting here? You have made whatever they're fighting absolutely useless. You can't make them into any kind of effective villain or effective alien race or anything like that. You have made it, and this is something I've seen in many, many comic books, be it Marvel, be it DC, be it woke or unwoke, is that they treat the bad guys as just background noise while we have a conversation about moving. And so why should we feel the characters are ever in any danger if they're so casually going through them like this? Superman saying Black Canary is just concerned. I am too. We're looking out for you. And we see one of these non-threatening fire people firing at Hawkwoman. I'm looking out fine for me. Better than fine. I'm in my element. That should be an inspirational thing.
You brought up a good point.
That should be the call, kind of like a call to arms sort of thing. Like, okay, maybe they were down, and then she says this, and we realize, okay, she's rallying. A clear-cut enemy with insurmountable odds. What is it? My birthday. Except for they're not insurmountable. You're not even noticing the freaking villain.
You brought up a good point, though. When it gets to the point where villains aren't really any villains anymore, that's how I felt with even before One More Day on Spider-Man. It got to the point where he's fought them so many times that he beat Electro and all these other villains within like 2 minutes on the same page. Like, they were no longer, and it makes sense as character progresses, but then they should introduce a new character, a new villain, that one he hasn't fought before, because it got to the point where for like the past 200 issues or 300 issues, he struggled against his characters, and then as soon as he got in the 2000s, like, there's nothing. That's like, okay.
Yeah.
So
let's see. We've got this is the dumbest dialogue I've ever seen, says One Slick. MK is suggesting we do a top 10 worst names for superhero characters.
Dalton saying
the trauma and pain, says Undead Quinn. Hey, Spiffy, what's up?
Yeah,
I honestly feel, says Spiffy, like more people like HawkGirl than Hawkman. Literally everyone I know feels that way, including me. And that might be, I don't know. Are you the age where you grew up with the Justice League cartoon?
Dalton, I agree though. Thousands of years of love struck green cartoon.
They retconned that too, so that went back to being Shire. This one doesn't have thousands of years.
She's always been gay. What are you talking about?
Right. Yes, of course.
They just changed the name.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny too. I will say one other thing about this, because this is Kendra, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's awfully pale compared to the more recent versions of Kendra we gotten, certainly from the CW Legends of Tomorrow series. So that's an interesting choice, and I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot of backlash about that.
You're right.
Coffee shop talk during a battle. Okay. I care what these guys' history, what they want to do with that city explains.
That is true. It's like girls talking about, you know what? I think I'll get my hair done today. My nails are getting a little chipped while they're fighting. We
see it all over comics, Marvel or DC. It's just that.
That series you love so much from Leah Williams. That was 4 issues of that.
I know, but that was meant to be that way. It was supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be humor. These other ones are not.
Are you sure about that?
It's like if you're going for like She Spies on ABC, the Charlie Angels ripoffs.
You give her more
get away with it
for being able to write.
But these are superheroes. They're not going to have like Miss Marvel and like She-Hulk. Oh, I broke it now, and now I'm really mad.
Okay, so. Superman says, that's not what I mean. You've always been great in a fight, but I will be the first to say that our lives are complex. With the, at least, what was his name? Who's that really creepy male feminist that turned out to be a sex offender? Or he did a lot of movies, Firefly.
Sorry, there's too many to name.
He did Firefly. He did
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Okay, Joss Whedon had rambling dialogue, but at least it was fun and interesting. This is like Grandpa Simpson in his younger days wrote a comic book, but he was still rambling.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, it's funny, but there was a conversation about Alan Moore on the show yesterday, and then basically how people that came after wanted to be like Alan Moore, thought they were Alan Moore, and were crappy imitations.
Right.
Same thing with Joss Whedon. We had a whole generation where he was brilliant at his snappy dialogue, with Buffy and with Angel, and you had a whole generation of people that grew up on that thinking they could do it, and we've just seen the pale and crappy imitations, which leads to stuff like this.
Yeah, Joss Whedon begat Brian Michael Bendis. So Superman says, with the Justice League disbanding and your relationship with John, and she says, we broke up. You could say it. Well, Maybe he would have if you didn't interrupt him. You're wasting your time. Kendra wouldn't ask for water in the desert. I know you all mean well. Say again.
Because she's the bestest.
Yes.
That's
she's about 50 feet away and can't hear what's being said.
Yeah,
I know you all mean well, but I'm not the kid you have to explain everything to anymore. Teams, relationships, they break up, fall apart, whatever, all the time. People leave water off a hawk's back. And of course, Power Girl's sad because the little puffy fire guy. Why has Superman not blown everything out already?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, where is a Black Canary sanctuary pen?
Yeah, DC's really shit the bed. The Justice League are no longer the Justice League. We broke up, so the Teen Titans are now the new Justice League.
All right, now I've got this on panel to panel. I feel like we're halfway through the comic.
I mean,
I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid to look, and we're like on page 3.
Power Girl actually looks a little better than she's done in some of the other books we had out.
Well, she's definitely had a breast reduction still, but
no, that's just gravity. They're saying,
yeah, they were offering 2-for-1s, and Kendra was the other.
Yeah.
Right,
well, I mean, she at least looks like an attractive female, so we'll give credit where credit's due. And Black Canary doesn't look too bad either.
No, this artist is good. I mean, that's the only saving grace. If you could just like erase all the captions and rewrite it with an actual writer, you might have something here.
You know what? I want to have
5 pages
with Clark like this, and erase about the whole bottom. It says, "Will you both shut up and focus on fighting?"
Yep. Don't let Big Blue bug you. He's been harping on having a life without a cape recently. He's got a whole lecture. It's not a lecture. It's just a series of good practices. And, of course, HawkGirl here is saying, I do things out of costume. I have friends who aren't superheroes, And Power Girl is saying, they sound boring.
Yeah. Okay. I looked over and saw Glinzer's comment. Soups has the biggest boobs in the comic. And then I started to stare. And if you take away the cape, tell me in that drawing it doesn't look like Supergirl from the Flash movie.
Oh my gosh, his hips are even kind of weird. Yeah. Look at that.
He's thrusting out.
And he spent 3 pages mansplaining.
All righty.
Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this goes to what you and I were talking about. I should repost that video. The one where you and I talked about how one of the biggest problems with comics is they've decided to give up on the side characters. There are no more side characters. We did this video about a year ago, 2 years ago, and it still stands true. And right here, the people without powers are boring. That's why Mary Jane had to get some sort of weird power, because for 60 years she's been dull.
My gosh.
HawkGirl says, I'm meeting up with one later if we survive this. If we survive. You're not even paying attention to the creatures you're fighting. Old college friend, haven't seen her in years. And Power Girl's like, you are definitely convincing me that you have had a life outside of punching bad guys. She know you dropped out to become a superhero. And Kendra says, why do you always bring this up? Now, one thing I will say, I do appreciate the conversation and storytelling within a fight. It's not what you usually get, and it can allow you to get a lot of information out there in a brief period of time. However, it's got to be interesting. Go on ahead, Vink.
Can we take turns reading this? Ham it up a little bit. I did find something. I found something I actually like about this book.
What's up?
It's the font of the lettering. That's
the
it.
Lettering. The lettering is good, kids. Let's see. Power Girl does have smaller boobs. Thank you, Glinzer, for putting that in my head. Says okay. Yeah, I feel like the art here is okay, except for Power Girl's face looks kind of strange as we see.
She looks like Alice from the Batwoman.
And if you took away the talking, you'd actually have a badass few panels, says Spiffy. Maranya said some comic book writers don't read their dialogue aloud. If they did, they'd stumble over the words. Real writers edit out those stumbles until the words flow smoothly.
I want someone to rewrite the dialogue for this and then send it to us. That'd be awesome. I would read it on the Geeky Puppet Show if someone redid the font, the words, and I would read out.
Yeah.
Be
Well,
awesome.
and I did want to say too, though. I mean, I think actually the inking on here is pretty good because it actually provides depth, uh, to the drawings. I forget what book I was looking at recently, and I was so disappointed. And it was an artist I think I normally like, but I was so disappointed because the inking was either non-existent or just the thinnest lines, and it just made everything look flat and lifeless.
Dang it, Engeltine, every time you did a reading where you scream the bold, that's what I think of whenever I see the bold letters. That's the ones you're
Yeah.
supposed to yell aloud.
You
Yep.
can be so much more than you are if you just give a little power girl. And there's a little flamey guy trying to shoot her.
Yep.
Hot
He's
girl.
got southern dialect.
Isn't she
Southern.
like? Oh wait, no, they changed her powers now, right? She's no
It's
longer
Shadowhawk.
Superman or Supergirl too.
Well, I mean, in the Power Girl book, yeah, but I mean, who knows at this point where this
That's
is
true.
supposed to
That's
line
true.
up?
You offered to pay me
So
somewhere.
Kendra takes the shot. You shall be smoke for the gas, God, and ash for your loved ones. The wings
Ash? Oh.
got burned out, and Hot Girl begins to fall. They've retracted, and I can't get them open, and she starts to fall, but Superman's there.
Now she's Wolverine.
Oh no.
Okay, here you go. She's looking up. Superman isn't even Superman with super hearing, super everything, super speed. No one's coming to save me. They think I could save myself as she's falling.
Supergirl, yeah.
Well, if you spend an entire battle, I don't need no man. I can protect myself. Stop trying to mother me. I can take care of myself. And now she's bitching and moaning. Oh, they think I can take care. So there you go. She says, "Joke's on them. Let this be the end of it." And we find out that she's dreaming. Oh, okay.
I've seen these tropes before where the girl bitches. I've seen these tropes where the girls bitch the whole entire time, and at the end, if they realize, you know what? Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have been the way I am. I was being kind of selfish. You're never gonna find that with this. This is not a Lizzie McGuire story.
So out of nowhere,
of the book has arrived.
This character should be called Dewey Ex Machina.
Is this anime?
Who is this?
I don't know,
Okay,
but that's
so I did look it up, so I was partially right. So Galaxy is from a YA graphic novel from DC Comics that this person previously wrote. So that was their first DC Comics, credit. Was one of those YA graphic novel books that we always laugh and point out.
Yeah, okay, if you'd watched my video, you'd know that. Thanks.
You know what would be really funny?
A video?
If you make a video, see if I watch you.
I want this to be the updated version of Ambush Bug, just to pick
Oh my
something.
gosh. No.
But
I
like
like to
how-
say, if he picked this one up, he would made it to page 2 and put it back. Does that mean we're past page 2? Good.
Not by enough. Trust
Right.
me.
Well, you see, the corgi dog is actually Ein. She kidnapped him from the Bebop.
Oh,
yeah.
Does every SJW writer have to have their main character have their pets tagging along?
Where's Streaky? I haven't seen him at all.
It's like that stupid cat in Captain Marvel, and it's stupid. What the?
I prefer this comment right here. Spiffy is saying, "What in the transgender Smurf elf is that purple chick supposed to be?"
That
Galaxy.
Please explain the corgi dog. When every superhero is gay, no one will be, says subliteral. So the dialogue says, "Don't worry, Hot Girl, you're in good hands with Galaxy. That's me, by the way. I'm Galaxy. I'm a kind of a superhero too." And there are Down syndrome kids telling this to cut it back.
Yeah. See, you didn't read it right. You gotta put the right voice in there.
Don't worry, Hot Girl. You're in good hands with Galaxy.
No,
That's
no,
me,
no,
by the
no,
way.
no.
I'm
Let Eric-
Galaxy.
let Eric-
I'm a kind of a
let Eric read
superhero
it.
too.
Yeehaw! Don't worry, Hawk Girl. You're in good hands with Galaxy. That's me, by the way. I'm Galaxy. I'm kind of a superhero too.
I was gonna go more with the Lee shot, but that works too.
Well, and I bet you.
She thought she was ready for all the world had to offer, and if you want to do this, Eric. I didn't
No,
want
no,
to
no,
do
no,
it.
no. I was gonna say,
it.
I'll bet
Well,
you that prior page.
Uh-huh.
I bet that was the page that got that book closed back up and put back on the shelf more than maybe any single page of any comic in the last 5 years.
Yeah, how did this sell, by the way?
I gotta ask LK
Terribly,
because I know LK read E-Force. Who is the Galaxy girl that's in there? The character. It's all stars.
Planet Janet.
In the Marvel A-Force, the A-Force team. That was, do you remember that?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
She was all stars. Singularity.
Yeah.
This feels like I'm getting Invincible, the alien from Invincible. Hey, Mark, how's it going? It's so obnoxious.
So she says, well, I don't want to brag, but I did save the world. Sure. So I guess you owe me one since I saved your life and all that. And the Corgi is the best character on the page right now. I'm going off on that.
Oh, look, the nerd from Big Bang Theory made a cameo there.
Instead of inserting the Galaxy, I would have put Lobo in this.
Oh, okay,
Lobo,
yeah. Sheldon's in the
I would have made Lobo a misogynist in this. If you're gonna have it, bring in Lobo because that's what he is. He'd be like,
there's still a couple issues left to go, so it could happen.
All right, so HawkGirl yells, nope, throws her mace, says she is wrong, and the mace hits the little fire dude. And okay, and they said, you know what? Fuck backgrounds. Backgrounds suck. And
Scaletta happened.
Apparently they went into the void. And HawkGirl saying we're square. They also, by the way, got rid of dialogue balloons. This isn't even the same art style.
The X-Men does this all the time. All of a sudden it'll be reading, and all of a sudden it goes a white page, and it's like notes.
It's just big, yeah.
It's annoying.
Galaxy looks like a weird Powerpuff Girl character mixed with Power Ranger and Dimension X. Anybody else notice this chick's bulge?
Also, that chick she's got headphones on.
A brisket.
She looks like she's got headphones that melded to her head.
Yeah, like
it looks like Jet Set Radio.
Yeah. Jet Set Radio.
No. The dog, though. Why is the dog there? That's the other thing. He hasn't done anything.
That is a trope of shitty SJW writers that take characters and have know nothing about them, so they just have to add shit to distract.
Yeah, ice cream, coffee, and pets. Those are the three things that.
There you go.
I mean, that explains Jeff, I guess.
HawkGirl versus Fire Element. The dog is a trope of manga. There she looks like Dark Stalker characters. The dog should be called Galaxy. So she says, sure, okay, at least let me unlock your wings. There's all kinds of energy that's blocked up in your back. And HawkGirl says, fine. And Sheldon says, so can you turn into a whole flock of hawks or just one big hawk? And I guess this is her power to see her nervous system. Your wings, they're metal, but they're also not. It's more like energy that's decided to be metal, like a cold sun.
Gee, let's get scientific without someone who knows what they're talking about.
This is incredible, the way your wings are singing.
He knows the science.
Its metal is wild like that, she says. Go find cover. I've got to deal with an invasion force. We have no idea. Were we supposed to care about the fight at all? Who are they? Why are they there? What's going on?
Look, the dog is flying.
The fight is basically irrelevant. The fight is there to provide the reason for why these two got together.
It's to provide motion.
I'm going to say right now.
I wouldn't even say that.
The books like this is a reason why people go to pirating. Because who's going to pay $4 for this?
Books like this are why people go to manga.
Why? It's manga right here.
No dialogue boxes. His Marvel flashback said Dalton.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I want to check that one out too.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I won't completely dump on that single white panel because that is just a panel. If we were looking at the full page, it's just an easy way to try and highlight the two characters. Now, if the entire page was like that or something, it'd be different. But
Okay, so apparently Galaxy is looking at HawkGirl's butt saying breathtaking. Okay. If you're a dude and you say you're a woman and you're looking at a woman, you're heterosexual. Just saying. I know, but I'm a transgender lesbian. No, you're not. That's heterosexuality, dude. All right, so you just like to do it while dressed like a woman. All right, maybe the little dog can distract the bad guy, then HawkGirl can knock out the little baddie. SJW Tropolis, random animals, quirky dialogue, a lot of talking and eating. Okay. So Kendra, it is Kendra, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hits somebody with a mace. They're not showing who it is, but this is the whole page here. So, all right. And then we get, okay, so cool thing. I just learned these fire aliens, they're a little more than gas animated suits of armor. I'm just keeping the gas from igniting. And she's asking, you killed them? Oh, no, I didn't kill them. They're inert. Okay. And so basically she put them out.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, Superman could have blew out the fire.
Who?
If Superman, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, where the hell are the rest of the character? I mean, it's, again, what?
Yeah, wait a second. Did she get transported or something?
I don't know.
Well, no. Remember, so when last we looked, they, the other. Well, we don't know where the hell Black Canary went because she can't fly.
She can't fly. Was she in the sky though?
Superman were.
So like, yeah, we lost Black Canary long before that. You're right. Yeah. It's just
meanwhile, they're Superman and Power Girl are up dealing with them like 2,000 or 3,000 feet up in the air behind it, above them or whatever, and then they come down to the ground here, and then they kind of sort of I guess fly back off, and
So they literally just, the writer here, what's his name? Axelrod?
Yeah.
The writer forgot characters.
Yeah, unless of course, off panel, Superman read that YA novel of Galaxy and knew she wasn't a threat to HawkGirl. There's always that possibility. And then he told Power Girl. So they said it's cool.
Yeah, and again, here's a great thing too. Look at this picture, just as Bankman said. I mean, it looks like that her ears / headphones there are just part of her head.
So that's a flap of skin. That's not actually headphones. That's a flap of skin that actually just it's like a freaking piece of bacon that goes over because it's got to be some sort of. It hasn't moved, so it's rigid.
Well, no, if it hasn't moved, then it's bone.
Okay.
Bone or cartilage. So there you go, kids. Put that in your head.
So this alien has been designed to look like her cartilage is headphones. This is dumb as fuck. Okay, let's see. The invasion is a sidebar. It makes feel like it's not even important to the book, which obviously
it isn't.
Cartoons is saying Jackie Chan said a fight without emotion is only motion. There's nothing there, and that is why the characters it's 90% about it. You have to put character into a fight.
This is going to be 5.5 issues of nothing until the two of them get together, which is going to leave her Galaxy's poor fat purple girlfriend out in the cold.
Dalton is saying you can do Valley Girl or you can do Technobabble, but for the love of all the gods, please, not both at the same time.
Yeah.
And also, the writers struggle with object prominence. Apparently, we can't see them, so they're not there anymore.
Yeah. I will say this, though. For generic villains, just to move a plot along, these gas beings or whatever are far better than the god-awful Kelly Thompson snats that she put into Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Half snake, half cat. That piss acid.
They look like someone lit Minions on fire.
Hey, you know what? That's fine with me because I'm not a Minions fan.
Nah, Foster. Okay. And Spiffy saying, okay, I was okay with the dog for a while, but it's literally face to face with a fire demon. So, trope or not, it's kind of dumb. All right. So the fire demon says, I will dance in your cinders. And she turns him off again.
See?
Okay, well, that was easy. It's good to know that wasn't really a threat at all, even though they weren't. Kendra says, you didn't know if you killed them or not. You can't have that sort of reckless disregard for people's lives. And she says, you were hitting them in the face with a morning star. Which, yeah, she's right. As dumb as this character is, every single choice you make affects someone else. You have to think about that. You don't know what you're doing. You were hitting them in the head with a morning star.
Hey, look, they're back.
Yeah, there they are. There they are. Black Canary is still gone. I guess I'll just safely lower these guys to the ground then. Maybe she's right. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I think you know what you're doing. He talks.
All right.
The dog says, I think you know what you're doing. You're not an amateur. Now, is he actually talking or is it a voice in the head?
Well,
we could all use some voices in our heads about now.
Because all these nut job writers are hearing voices in their head.
So Kendra says, I'm a professional. And the girl she's with says, a professional what? Tell me about your new look, Abilene. I didn't even recognize you when I walked up. He says, yeah, I was a bit of a church mouse in college. And I thought, you know what? I need to be one of those girls on TikTok that's really beautiful. And then she joins Antifa. Mm-hmm. I would just feel a lot more comfortable.
Oh, so you read ahead.
Let's see.
Oh, what? Yeah. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see. Male clothing, check. Shaved one side of the head, check.
Used to be straight, check.
Check.
Now lesbian, check.
More importantly, used to be a fundamental Christian, but found herself, check.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there aren't.
I would feel a lot more comfortable if everyone stopped looking at me. Therefore, you dress and look like that. You've got the stereotypical "Hi, I'm a lesbian," half-being shaved haircut. I have never disliked. I don't like the word "triggered." I really don't. I don't like. Oh, he was triggered by. This triggers me every time I see it. It is such a stereotype. It's such a trope. I fucking hate that haircut. Hate it. I hate it.
Well, wait until you read this dialogue, and you can see this. This is again another case of the leftists basically making the most selfish character, but
treating it like she's the hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so she goes on to say, "You remember the wedding?" No, I didn't go. I had a thing that day. Right, that's right. Well, I got married junior year because I'm an idiot. I really thought that being married to this man, pledging my life to him, was everything I wanted. But once I got it, I realized it wasn't what I wanted at all. There were outside forces pushing me into being somebody I wasn't comfortably being. I hope being married would mean I wouldn't have to worry about all the parts of me that were messy, but the parts of yourself that you hide never go away. So I'm exploring who I am. I'm divorced. I'm gay. I might not be a woman. Still poking that with a stick. We'll see where I end up. It's funny. I've always admired you and your outspokenness. You always seem to know exactly who you are and what you wanted to tell the world. And
I forgot. Tattoos. Check.
And then she's with Black Lives Matter. So the Antifa wing of Black Lives Matter. Okay. I'm triggered. I'm because that one show that has those dumbass girls, like one actually said, I'm the person who invented crossing my eyes and sticking my tongue out. Yeah, that show where they talk about what marriage is, that fucking triggers me. And you know what? Fuck you, dude. Serious. Axelrod, fuck you. All right? And those girls on that show, fuck you. Fuck you for insulting my wife. Fuck you for insulting Maranya, for every fucking woman that's ever been alive and came before you. Get that freaking thing about the Germans out, because they are bombing Pearl Harbor right here. Okay? What you're saying, what you are fucking saying is every woman that's come into this world before you were slaves. They did things without having it be their choice. You fucking arrogant bitch. No, I actually did that on purpose.
Was that Dalton's intro?
Hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Timing.
No, Dalton isn't the arrogant bitch, but everybody who has that attitude, I'm hearing it so much now. Oh, marriage is just slavery. Fuck you. You think my wife is a slave? You don't think that we work together? I mean, for fuck's sake, most of the time, women are making the decisions in the household.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention was like, if it's slavery for both of them, you know. But we never get to talk about how men are disadvantaged by it.
You ignorant sluts who actually say that, oh, I just want 10 more years of fun. Because all you're saying is that one more stranger's load on your face, in your mouth, or in your freaking pussy is more important than husband and kids. It's more fulfilling. All you need is one more load inside of you to make you happy. No, this kind of douchebag writing fucking pisses me off. It's a douchebag attitude pisses me the fuck off, because basically what it's doing is flat out insulting every woman that's ever come before them. Once again, sorry for the rant, guys.
It's narcissism is what it fundamentally is. It's the short-sighted approach of someone with cluster B personality disorders, be it borderline, be it narcissism, or be it histrionic. That's
Chevy Chase.
You could just as easily call all writers that at this point.
I just want to say that
hello to
no woman has ever come before them. They're sad lonely people. That's why they have cats.
But a lot have with them.
Yeah.
The only minor positive I will give this is the fact they didn't go the physical abusive route.
That's only because she couldn't fit it in the panel.
On my shoulders for a little bit.
You might be right, Breen.
In a disguise saying "F you for insulting me like being a mother" is wrong. Best choice I ever made. It's that whole attitude I'm hearing. It's like, and they are so fucking right. It's like, oh, it's because, and the only reason why you're saying this is because you're a misogynist and you've got your foot down on. I gotta tell you what.
It's not a discussion. It's proselytizing.
It really is. Okay, so anywho, let's see what we got. Once like dude's out, Ed Brewer says most women usually have the power in the household. That there's a line from a movie. It's called My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where they're talking about, well, dad's the head of the household. And he says, yeah, men usually are the head of the household, but the woman is the neck and she can name the man wherever she wants.
Yep.
And that's basically it. The way I was raised by strong women, like literal strong women, not comic book movie, Hollywood strong women.
Themyscira, right?
And yeah, I was born on Themyscira. I was never allowed to touch the ground though. But the thing is, men, it's true. The strong women controlled the household. Men were the gatherers, but women still worked, and men still had responsibility in the household. And I'm a Southern guy, and according to these people, we're the most racist, sexist, misogynist, misandrist people on the face of the fucking planet.
It's the dichotomy between overt and covert power. And the thing about it is men might have more overt power on paper, but overt power has to be held accountable. Covert power very often is a lot less or a lot more nebulous and therefore can't be held accountable.
Here's the power in my household. Yeah, we're going to go out. Okay. Yeah, I really want to go see Blue Beetle. We're not seeing Blue Beetle. Guess what? We're not seeing Blue Beetle. So,
yes, year syndrome. And it's not new. It's been that way for centuries and possibly millennia.
In a disguise, men make the house, women make it a home. Okay, so Kendra says, I hope I'm still like that. I've changed a lot since college. After I dropped out, I met a man and we had an intense relationship. Carter found me when I was at a very low place and he raised me up. He showed me a version better than myself, a version of myself, a better version that I didn't realize was there. He taught me what it means to fly, but that's done now.
Yep.
And we
I
go back.
I also grew 6 inches. My shoulders broadened out, and I added pounds of muscle.
I was looking at their tab because you read In Disguise is looking at their thing. I'm like, In Disguise wrote all that?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. We're back to the comic. So
Okay.
The gay chick says, well, Metropolis is a great place to start over. I'm so glad you're here. You're staying, right? As far as I know, Kendra says. So do I have a shot then? Am I your type? With those arms? Absolutely.
Oh, hey, look, we can check off another box. She's got 1, 2, 3, 6 piercings.
Yeah, 3 in the ear, 1 in the nose. By the way, those bull
It looks
rings,
like 2 in the nose, but
I gotta say those bull rings look incredibly stupid. I apologize. I
name
apologize
is
for
Alex.
offending whoever I just
She's
offended,
gay.
but never like those.
I know
Never
exactly
liked
what you're talking about, and I wholeheartedly agree. I do.
They look
not
like
get
they
that
look
at
like
all.
they look like somebody sneezed and don't know that snot came out.
Septum rings, yeah.
Septum, is that what they're called? Septum rings?
I think so.
And it's just sitting there, you know.
And then it just hardens with the metal.
Yep. Okay, so she goes on. I'm flattered, really, I am, but I'm not looking for a romantic relationship or any relationship. In fact, I don't think I have any direction in my life at all. All right, and the girl just kind of looks at her weird.
Asexual champion.
Say again.
It'd be hilarious.
She's going to become DC's first asexual hero.
Please note, we're spending more time on the relationship and the slice of life stuff than we ever did on the fight, because that is how these writers write.
Well,
they write
the fight was
fights
filled
and
with all
action
of
as
this,
window
too.
dressing and slice of life as the main plot.
So back to my original point. Is that a man or a woman?
Dalton, what main plot would that be in this book?
Okay, they try to write the slice of life as the main plot. They don't always succeed at it, but that's their intent.
Right. Okay, so Kendra stands up, says she should go. The girl says, Kendra, wait, no, I really have to go now. Bye. I actually do think she looks like a muscular woman. I have to give it to the artist here. I have known this woman. I have seen this woman. This does exist.
So it looks
I said in the chat she looks like Big Barda.
Yeah. Okay,
more so RDV. For me, it looks more like you just took Selena and gave her the Red Hulk syndrome, you know?
Okay.
I can see that too.
All right, so here we go. We got hold on, we're being canceled again. Yep, bent over like that. Why can't? And then we've got, that's the woman that she kidnapped. Why can't I leave? I keep trying to, and I can't. I can move my arms and legs, but not if I want to use them if I'm out. And the Vampulica, what was her name? Volca.
Who cares?
Vampirical?
Because, Sweet Marine, that was our deal. I gave you what you want, and now you give me what I want. Fair is fair. That necklace you so dutifully wore for half a century is made of nth metal. Your body, your very life should be fused. Oh, I'm sorry, suffused.
You can literally turn this into a hentai book. It says, we're turning all the men into women.
What is okay? So it should be suffused with nth metal essence by now.
Nice little pile of bones there at the bottom right.
That was me after reading this.
Which version of nth metal are we going with? Is this still operating by Dark Knight's metal rules, or are we going back to the old canon of
like
nth
this
metal?
author even cared or
Well, no, but that's why I'm asking the question of, you're using nth metal as the MacGuffin. Well, there's like 5 or 6 different canons of what nth metal is now.
This is basically, remember America Chavez? And by the way, I am not comparing this to America Chavez. America Chavez was fucking awesome in its badness. This is just bad. But you remember they used the mindless ones. It's the same thing. They're just using nth metal.
Yeah, actually, Dalton, MacGuffins were what they were eating at the cafe.
There you go.
This
so
looks
Marine,
like
what?
I was gonna say, she kind of reminds you of Castellucci's Batgirl.
You know what? I would have liked that a lot better if Barbara had those teeth.
So the Vampulica, whatever her name was, says, and that life is exactly what this beautiful machine needs to function. And she asks, what's going to happen to me? This is my first time trying this, Marine. So what the fucking hell is the skeleton? So I can't say, and honestly, I don't very much care. And then Kindred put on her helmet.
Okay, hold it. This plot of yours, random villainess, requires this machine to function properly and requires you to be able to extract the nth metal nonsense and whatever. So you're not going to test it to make sure it's functioning properly or even make sure you know how to use it?
Maybe this is the test.
I mean, this is turning into a porno. She's going to masturbate while wearing a helmet.
Let's see. It is 2023. They are not women or men. I mean, where the heck is her wings? This plot is hentai. Oh crap! Red Sonja is the villain, says MK. The art isn't bad, at least, says Ed, and I got to agree with it. I haven't hated the art on this one. Why is her hands turning black? This legit seems not very good. Let's see. Nth Metal 50 years ago would have only been known by Hawkman and Hawkwoman. Ahsoka saying, what the hell is the skeleton? Hold up this machine to function properly. You ain't testing it, same as Dalton said. And Venkman wants her to do that. Okay, so HawkGirl or Hawkwoman, whatever, is saying
It would be more entertaining than the dialogue we're getting, okay? I'm just saying.
This channel is not for social calls, especially now that Justice League is disbanded. I haven't even answered, but you did because you know I only get in touch when I have a mystery. What do you know about a woman named Galaxy? Not much. So I guess she asked Batman, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's a few
5
stars
foot 11 inches tall, 22 years old, born on the planet Siandi, came to Earth 12 years ago. She adopted the name Taylor Barzilay while living in a small town of Ozma Gap, has the ability to perceive and manipulate energies that surround her, gravity, light, heat, etc. This ability is not uncommon to the people of her world. Currently lives on the top floor of a building of 64 Pollock Street with her girlfriend, Catherine Silverberg, in Metropolis's primary alien-populated town. Okay.
Sorry. Go back and take a look again at the name of the planet and read that.
It was planet
Siandi.
No. Candy. I
Wait,
guarantee
seriously?
it's Candy. I
You
guarantee freaking to you.
But I want to point out something. What's really cool about this is that, do you remember that 12-issue miniseries, Lois Lane, you know, the whole thing she did?
No, I didn't make it past the first issue.
I'm going to tell you right now, and that's that Lois Lane miniseries, because I read through of it because I just wanted to see the art. The art was only good. That's a good thing about it. But the Lois basically goes up to Batman and she's like, I need to get this file for me. Here you go, ma'am. Same shit. They're turning Batman to an errand boy. I literally, it's at the point where he's just reduced command to cameo and just like, here's the files you wanted. Now shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
Yeah, but this, at least, this might be the only part of the book that's even remotely well written. She asked him if he knows anything about Galaxy. Is not much.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's Batman for you. He doesn't know literally everything about you, so he doesn't consider it enough yet.
But I am very offended though. He doesn't have enough pouches.
No.
Right.
Well,
My whole thing is, why is he stepping on bats?
yeah. My whole thing is, I mean, with the focus of this book, why isn't this Oracle?
Yeah, that too. Why isn't it? They hate men, so why isn't it just all women?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
and have you guys
unless
noticed that they use the Batman Returns Batmobile?
Yeah. Oh, see, this is one part where I think the artist probably said, "Oh, hey, let me draw Batman for one panel."
That's the Batman for everyone.
You know, and do all this. I guarantee you that this writer had nothing planned for this panel like that.
Also, wait, Galaxy has a girlfriend. Was I misinterpreting, or were they flirting earlier? Her and HawkGirl? Because if she has a girlfriend already, then that's cheating in the background as well. I know it's not the focus or anything, but she might be cheating on a girlfriend.
She doesn't know her customs. She doesn't know our Western society.
Yeah. It's only cheating if you act upon it.
On Candy, threesomes are commonplace.
So HawkGirl
Only
saying
men
that's
cheat.
not much. Cheese and crackers, Batman. How's your file on me?
Oh my God, she's Hellcat.
Yes.
And he says extensive. She said she saved the world. Is that true? Do you remember the Vane incursion? No. What's the Vane incursion? There is evidence that a fleet of alien spacecraft of the type used by the Vane entered the Earth orbit. Was there a Vane incursion?
Maybe
I'm
in
guessing that's
maybe
in
in her
that.
YA book. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay.
Well, this is yet another problem with DC currently, and Marvel too. Come to that, when they do big world-spanning events, they don't treat them like big world-spanning events. So, like that alien invasion that happened last week is apparently just not even front-page news anymore.
So she's a character from the YA novels. Now they're incorporating it. So
Yes.
that means that I Am Not Starfire is potential canon.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I mean it's just in order to.
If Mariko Tamaki ever gets to write the Teen Titans, yes.
Can you go back?
It's just in order for, since Jacinda has one story to tell, she had to bring her YA novel to this.
There you go.
Because she honestly, I don't think this person had any interest in writing a HawkGirl. So she wanted to do a sequel to Galaxy, but this is the only way that she was able to do it.
Yeah. By the way, you do this occasionally, and I don't know you to actually be wrong, but you come up with these. It's almost like the secret agenda behind every series or something. You'll come up with something like that, and I've never heard you say something that I've got to go, nah, you're full of shit on this, Eric. Usually it's like, I can see that. I can actually see, well, I really just want to write Galaxy, but they won't give it to me.
Well, I can't take credit for that since I don't read a lot of this stuff anymore. The dudes over at Weird Science,
yes,
they've already done issue 2, and apparently it's all Galaxy all the time in that one.
Does everyone eat Chinese food in every Hollywood movie currently? Is it that
they're all eating something?
It's easy takeout to write, and again,
so it's McDonald's.
They're all posh middle class writers though, and it's trendy because it also has multicultural points. So
they got that. Remember Arrow pushed the whole belly burger, whatever it was, place. Why isn't that used more?
And like I said, it's trendy, and but I'll tell you what. If you're not getting something different than Massaman or freaking green curry, you don't know Thai food. It's like Italians who laugh at Americans who think that spaghetti is the only Italian food, and they don't actually have great seafood dishes.
How to piss off Italian? You get spaghetti out of a can.
Maranya knows what I'm talking about. That Penny says 1993. Wonder what year the writer was born. You said that's Glenzer. You can't retract wings. You legit can't do that, especially because they have feathers, and it's not like we have any. Now the HawkWorld Hawks actually had mechanical wings, so maybe they were.
And we already saw in this that at least in this iteration, Kendra's wings are made of nth metal, so there are no feathers.
It's kind of like what was it, the Naomi show when they showed that Hawkman guy, how they just came out of his skin. And then they're there. Otherwise, they're gone all the time.
Who's worse, this writer or Vita Ayala?
I haven't read Vita before. So
wait a second. Is anybody strong enough to flip that penny, and then call it in the air?
D, all of the above.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I don't know what this guy's deal is, this Axelrod dude. I know he's been around for a bit. What else has he written?
Galaxy. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, Vita. And I'll tell you why. Wrote more, ruined more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give this Axelrod.
Vita Ayala has hundreds of credits with no noticeable improvement whatsoever.
Yeah. So right now I'd have to go, but Axelrod is on his way. So we're met by. Okay, hold on. Let me go through this. She said she saved the world. Vane and Current. There's evidence of a fleet of spacecraft of the type used by the Vane entered the Earth orbit. We're met by a flying teenage girl matching Barsleigh's description and then left. Exactly what happened is unclear, but whatever occurred was so traumatic, almost every mind in the entire world has repressed it.
Oh, good God.
And
so again, it's funny. Here's where editorial, especially because of the audience that this is aimed towards, there should have been a little asterisk there saying, "Hey, see Galaxy YA novel for the for the
like in the old days that would
send the Stan Lee captions."
You read a Marvel team up and you go, and they always put go see their own book, this issue, that kind of stuff, and that gets you into other books. You give things,
but that would require them to care about continuity, and they don't. So
they could have sold an additional two dozen.
I would take.
Yeah, but these writers hate capitalism, so they're not going to do that.
What were you saying, Eric?
I said I would take the win in this case.
I mean, the asterisk in this would be say, "Go after yourself."
All right. So as HawkGirl's about to put a big old piece of broccoli in her mouth. By the way, broccoli is better, or on her chin. Broccoli is made better by Asian sauces. I will just say. Everyone just forgot. We just forgot that she saved the entire world alone and moved on with our lives. Repression and denial are common reactions to traumatic events, sometimes the only survival option. But I haven't ruled out mass mind control. Why the interesting galaxy, Batman asks. She just said something today about my wings. If you're working on the Ava Diaz murder, her Maltese Falcon replica base is about an inch too tall. At least that's how it looks in the photo of her ops on the website. And Batman is asking, how did you... Eyes like a hawk, remember? HawkGirl out. What the fuck does that mean? He's in a fucking cave.
I have no idea, but more importantly, so if everybody forgot, how did Batman remember?
Well, Batman has perfect control over his mental faculties. I'm not annoyed at that bit. I'm annoyed at, so apparently something happened that required the entire planet to have repressed memories for the most part. And there might be mass mind control involved, and this isn't a big freaking deal that requires Justice League level intervention.
We're not going to comment on the fact that she says eyes like a hawk. He's in a fucking cave. Hawks don't see through dirt. Hawks don't see through rock. What the fuck is this?
Wait. Was he looking at something? A photo that she gave to him?
No, she's suggesting he's seeing this.
Yeah, no, but
eyes like a hawk. She can't see.
No, but where did he get that from? Was this something he gave to her?
No, it's in his cave. I wore this mask so people would see who I am, and then I wore it so people would see who I am, and then I got rid of it only to pick it up again. Is this still my face, or is it someone else's? I borrowed my abuela. Wait, she's Hispanic now?
She always was, kinda.
Okay, had a pin she wore all the time. Is this mask like that? And is the fact that I'm talking to myself out loud evidence that I've finally lost it? This is somebody who's not deep trying to be deep.
Yep.
Is this still my face?
Or not to be stupid?
Every YA, every leftist progressive author that's out there.
And you know what?
You have to be at least as smart as your characters to pull that shit off, guys.
It reads like Derek Zoolander looking in the puddle. It really does. Is there more to life than being really, really, really good looking?
I'm glad that that's one newer movie, ish, that I've actually watched, so I got that reference.
All right, so Maureen pulls the switch on the bubble thing. Remember, Maureen's in this book, and HawkGirl lets out a scream. Once upon a time, there was a fox who had to start a life over. Ha ha ha! Yes, it's finally working. It's difficult to make a new life in a new world, and she's tried. Oh, how she's tried this year. The years she spent have cut even deeper than the thorns that bound her fast. Okay. The nth world. It's been so long. So are you going to meet the nth man? Why isn't the portal getting larger? No, don't close when I'm so near. But it's not easy to go home again. So many bridges burned, so many doorways shut, and the fox was once again left out in the cold. Other stories would end here, but not our fox. Oh no, not her. Heh, I like this new look for you, Maureen. She is finished trying to start her life over. It can't be done. We are who we are, and to deny otherwise is to wear a mask. And she will not wear a mask again, not ever again. She will wear the blood on her face for all to see. She will go back home even if she has to burn this world to ashes to do it. Come along. There's so much more to do. And then we cut to what's her name's apartment. And okay. Yeah.
Trope, check.
Big lipped alligator moments.
Right. So Nia, pick up. What are you asleep? Right. Okay. So she's on the phone. And she's saying, I think you might have misinterpreted that dream. Maybe you meant I was supposed to help Raven or Dove. It's an easy mistake to make. There's a lot of bird girls. Anyway, called me back. All right. Oh, Nia. Okay. Dream girl. Gotcha. Honestly, Taylor, I don't know what you expected to happen. She was going to invite you over for maybe a tea party, maybe swap friend bracelets, and the dog's getting his self. That is not his belly you're rubbing there, girl.
Wait. Glinzer, that's not an evil ginger, because everybody knows that gingers exist. Gingers are all black people.
Boy, look how many boxes the girlfriend checks.
Yep.
Right.
How many boxes of Czech mix is she eating?
Oh my gosh! I just noticed the dog there. I thought that was part of her.
I do believe I was there. I saw you save a woman's life as well, who knows many others. The girlfriend says, listen to Argus. You're the only person I know who could turn an act of selfless heroism into a reason to torture yourself.
Wait,
Blah,
the
blah,
dog's
blah,
talking?
lovey-dovey. They kiss. Maybe I did okay today. You did great. So what? The book's over.
Oh,
So
dog was
what if
not.
Hot Girl was a jerk to you? It's not like she's going to fly in for a sleepover.
The dog
All
was
right.
talking. What the hell?
And once it says, once upon a time, there was a fox and a hawk and a girl made of stars. This is how their end begins. And it says to be continued. Okay, so we had an incursion from the hawk. Okay, there we go.
So from out of nowhere, she was tossed through their window, I guess. Okay.
Yes. And night tears, there's the checklist. There we go, guys.
You know what? No, eyes a hunk. She didn't see that coming.
Okay, and also you weren't selfless, and there are dozens upon dozens of heroes who torture themselves with self-sacrificial angst. You're not special.
Okay, guys, before we go any further, I've got to do the YouTube thing. If you like content like this, please click the like button. Let me know so I know to continue. There's many other books we could torture this crew with. But it is kind of fun to rip into them. So let me know with the likes and the comments and such. You are absolutely right about this, Eric. I got to tell you too. This is a book I was looking forward to. I like HawkGirl.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell me HawkGirl, and this is a big problem with a comic book buyer's mindset. You tell me HawkGirl's going to have a book out. My first thought goes to the Jeff Johns series, how awesome it was, and I'm thinking that that's going to bleed over.
Here's where I'm going to give you a little bit of your own back to you. I believe it was you that came up with that. When it comes to wanting to see characters you like come back, be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
There's your textbook example. Well,
it is. I mean, of course, the
monkey's paw.
Oh, the monkey's paw. Oh, yeah, one went down. No, this would be two because Brian Michael Bendis did the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
And I am more so than HawkGirl. Legion of Superheroes. There's only one or two teams I like better than the Legion of Superheroes. Mm-hmm. Teen Titans being one of them. Bendis up the Legion of Superheroes, but yeah, absolutely, and it bears reiteration. You have to be careful what you wish for in modern day, because you think, oh yeah, I can't wait. They'll bring out Legion. Maybe give it to Peter David. Maybe bring back Alan Moore. We'll have Keith Giffen write the Legion, and no, you get T. Franklin and drawn by Riley Rosmo.
Well, this one of the things that that I said in the video that LK didn't watch. Was that
I didn't know you had one.
One of the problems with DC is I said, give me a gun. I got a foot to shoot. They keep doing it over and over. Because I've made 3 videos in the last couple months. One was, DC will basically the old Jack Kirby line, comics will break your heart, kid. Then Dawn of DC starts. It's like, wow, are they actually getting better? And then we get this. And no, they're not.
Dawn of DC, Green Arrow, awesome. Green Lantern was awesome.
Yeah.
The Superman,
awesome.
not Superboy.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But in today, good is awesome.
Right.
We've had to shift our expectations there, Eric.
Basic competence might be as well Oscar-worthy at this point.
Yeah, we're not going to lower our expectations to HawkGirl level, but we have had to lower.
Or I'll throw back to you. Today, those books are awesome. Put them back in the 1980s or 90s, and they don't even make the list.
Yeah, well, they would just be average. But I did want to pick up. I remember I did read this somewhere else. Somebody mentioned in the chat. So one of the things about this book was one of the, call it requirements or whatever, but the writer was not allowed to use any existing, Hawkman, HawkGirl villains or other side characters.
Really?
Why?
maybe they have plans for him. Venditti wrote a great Hawkman. Maybe they're just saving it for her, hopefully. And talk about Venditti. You tell me that there's going to be a Venditti Sandman coming up, Golden Age.
Oh my
Sandman.
God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my geek dick is hard as hell. And
I assume that means West.
And then I hear drawn by Riley Rosmo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know what?
Blue Balls, the comic.
Yeah, Blue Balls, the comic.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we'll say this. Maybe Venditti's the one person that can get him to actually draw competently, and perhaps I'll put a big if out there. His style might fit the style for
the Shadow and Batman. I didn't even realize that was Riley Rosmo until somebody pointed it out to me, and that was months after.
I've seen worse art than Martian Manhunter too. It's just like they gave him that. It's like I said, we want Tim Drake. Not only is he cartoonishly gay now, draw him cartoonish.
Yeah.
So that's. But you know where Jazdia is already touting her next project. So, and again, DC. Like I said, I've said this for the last, probably a year now. There's a civil war going on inside of DC. And oddly enough, Mark Waid is on the side of the Angels for once. But the Williamson, Wade, Jeff Johns when he decides to get a book out.
Ram V.
I know I'm leaving one out.
Jerry Adams.
And then you've got the other side with absolute shit like this.
Who's the good female writer?
Joelle Jones was a good writer. With Northcott as well.
Like Northcott's the first name that came to mind. And then secondary would be Katrina Collins.
Who were you saying, Eric?
I said Blake Northcott, yeah.
Yeah, because all the names you mentioned were guys, and I'm thinking it can't be all the female writers. I would love to see Gail Simone come back to form. I really would like.
So she did for like 3 issues
for
another company.
Yeah, it wasn't all the female writers. It's majority of them. Joelle Jones actually wrote a good, decent Catwoman book and all that stuff. There was nothing wrong with her run. I'd be shocked if somebody come on and say, "Oh, this is horrible."
Let me get
female writers on
here.
the problem. Ideologue writers are the problem.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah. I was going to be leading to are all the female writers, the ideologues that because we know some men are as well, as we just read, but it's are all the Stephanie Phillips, Stephanie Williams, or whatever, or the T. Franklins definitely. Let me get some comments here. Cartoons, comics, and now we know why people don't care about DC Comics anymore. Let's see. That comic was tailor-made for a drunk stream. You know what? I could use the money. Bad Comic Beatdown Live drunk stream would be a lot
but Eric
of fun.
Can't drink though.
Oh no! If you want the book for the drunk live stream, you've got to do Galaxy, the Prettiest Star.
That's what it's called.
Yes. And I'm kind of flipping through it right now on a.
Let me let me find a proper kind of alcohol. And then I'll find it has to be a night Gail's not here, so maybe Sunday because it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Well,
but then again, she is my slave because we're married. So
yeah. Well, and again, too, you'll probably have to start around noon because I think it'll probably take you a while to get through it.
Right.
Because it is a trade paperback.
Let's see. You saw her have wings in the background because remember Marine has HawkGirl's species body now because you saw her have wings. Eric's thinking I didn't want to say anything but told you. Well, hey, I was very honest. This is what we're doing tonight, and Eric jumped on. So I think did you have fun tearing a new one into this book, Eric?
Well, you mean again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some things are worth revisiting.
Not
rereading, mind you, but revisiting.
Well, this is a lot different because you're not just rereading it; you're getting to say all the things.
I didn't mean like that. No.
We're
And
MSP3
thank you
King
to
it basically.
Ashton. Thank you to Ashton Jackal. Say, hey guys, Astrobot fandom sent me here. So, well, thank you to Astrobot and welcome. I hope you enjoy everything. Feel free to join in the chat and everything. We're very open here. So, I do appreciate super chats. Yeah, thank you.
I was just gonna say that I'm shocked that Jay has friends.
Okay. Now, England team, repeat after me. This HawkGirl is great. Then sit back and watch it fail. Oh, yes, the England team curse.
Use the curse.
No,
Use
we've tried this. It does not work. The reverse psychology of the England team curse does not work.
Well, I don't think you have to worry. I think the book is failing enough on its own.
Yeah.
You know why it's not working? Because you're not reading new books. So do not read World's Finest. Don't you dare start reading that.
But
Jim
again,
Sorensen is correcting me. Bendis did not do anything Legion related.
that is not going to stop DC from giving her another project because it's the message that matters, not the sales. And
they're ideologues, and they actually hate sales because they hate capitalism.
And there's too many of them in upper management at comic book companies now.
Yeah.
You can watch smaller ones go out of business, but as long as you've got that sweet Disney and whoever the hell owns DC this week, money behind them, I guess they can just keep going.
Yeah. Well, I will say,
can we organize a comic book writer's strike along with the SAG-AFTRA one? Because I would very much like to see these people go out of business for their own ideological reasons.
Writers have been on strike for about 5 years now.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. So in the Mark Miller discussion on Sunday, he mentioned the fact he is working on a Superman project. And then he talked about the fact that, he would like to see, other creators that have, done well like himself, kind of be able to, like pay it forward, by helping out, say the Marvel and DC. The problem is, my thought is the best thing that he could do would be is to identify and mentor actual writers to create some new crop of writers that can take over for this generation. Because right now there are none.
No. I've been liking the fact he's been doing the Millerverse. He's great with that.
He does have a point, and we see a lot of course, with the Black Pills, with the Ethan Van Sciver's crowd and all that. I don't know if they still do, but they used to say, abandon all hope for Marvel and DC. Stop completely. Just
let it burn.
Yeah. But the thing is Comicsgate was created so we would be a consumer group that would point out, look, we are the ones that buying your stuff. We don't like the direction you're going in. And I will point out that when the group stopped focusing on that is when shit really started hitting the fan at Marvel and DC. Let me finish here. Yeah. I think it would be kind of cool if he's right. If Millar was able to put together a group that's basically would be Comicsgate, but they won't call themselves that but they would still have the same goal. Go over and fix what's wrong. We want to save our characters, the ones that made us love this hobby. Or as you could see by all the shit on our walls, our lifestyle. Not mine, because I got a green screen.
See,
there you go.
Here's my thing. I mean, I don't want to be like one of those Stockholm syndrome, people. They're like, I'm so attached to the Marvel DC. If Miller could create his own, build his own universe there, and actually have his trained people come in and write those characters, soul stories, basically build his own DC or Marvel, I'm all for that. I mean, at this point, I have all the back issues I want to read as Marvel and DC. I can stop at 2011 and just not read anything for past, I don't care.
Here's the problem, though, Vank. And maybe that works for you, and unfortunately, it has to work for myself because there's no other option at this point. But I've been reading comics since LK was in diapers, and everybody other than E wasn't even alive. And you always hold out hope that someday the characters that made you love this hobby will become readable again. Now, Superman and a little bit of Batman, that's great, but Marvel to me is just, they're gone. I'm sorry, one good Moon Knight book does not make up for 88 piles of shit.
And no offense,
And
and
I'm gonna quote either. Let me finish this one. If he, it'll never happen because these ideologues don't care that Mark Millar did something that he was able to sell for millions of dollars and retain some part of creative control over. No, again, because I said the message is all that matters to these people, and they're not going to let anybody that would give us the kind of books we want because they've just spent 10 years getting rid of people, writers like that, and fans like that. They're not going to.
It's an ideological occupation.
Yes. And they have won. They're too entrenched at this point. So that's a neat idea. I wish it were possible, but they're not going to let that happen for the same reason why you're never going to. Even if he wanted to, which he doesn't, well, fortunately, neither one of the big two would ever let Chuck Dixon write for him again. Mike Barron, forget it. And it's just, I mean, like I said, that battle's been fought. We lost. And I said, fortunately, we do have 80 years of back issues because it's not going forward.
And
the only way to fix it ultimately would be for them to fail, realize they done screwed up, and right course. Which I hope happens someday, and I hope I'm alive long enough to see it. But
yeah,
that's the only way at this point.
I mean, I don't want to be like 30 years go by, and I get to Eric's age, and it's still shit. I don't want to see these characters, be butchered more than they are. But at some point, I got to realize I first started to read comic books in 2003. So I'm not at that point where you are, Eric, where you grew up reading these much longer. You've read more stuff. I have more back issues to read than you do. You may now. Then again, your memory may go where you actually have the same amount of issues to reread because you don't remember them. But I'm at this point. I'm willing to, if it got to the point where Marvel Moon Knight is the last book I'm kind of reading over there. If that goes under, I'm dropping Marvel. I'm not, and it's sad because I love Spider-Man. I love Iron Man. I love Captain America. All those characters, and it's been perverted so badly, written out of character, the point where I'm not gonna shed a tear anymore. I'm gonna go back and read the actual ones that are actually done by good writers.
No, we get that, but
I'm gonna say I want Miller to kind of less focus on DC and build his own universe, so I have something to actually look forward to every week. Instead of having basically his hands behind his back because they letters won't let him write what he wants to write.
Right, whether it's Mark Miller or somebody else.
Yeah,
I said the fact is that the people that could go in there and fix them, if not in writing talent, but say like a Todd McFarlane, who cares about comic book fans. Hell, even Rob Liefeld cares about comic book fans. Marvel will let him do an out of continuity miniseries and then not promote it and then say, see, look, he doesn't sell anymore, not realizing that the people that stuff would appeal to are the people they've driven out.
Yeah, I'm not telling people that
it's just never gonna. So the people that could fix them, because there's still enough people out there that are still writing in other places that could come in and fix both of these companies. But to Dalton's point, the ideologues in charge of both are never going to let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm all for it. If they actually were to get people in there where they actually could fix it and actually cared about fixing it and did it, I would support that. Right. But I'm at the point right now. I mean, I personally have become more indie than DC.
And Miller's probably better off where he is, making a strong Millerverse.
But I want to point out the Ashton Jack though. He says I still support good mainstream comic books weekly. I do too, man. On Geeky Puppet Show, every Tuesday night is my shameless pluggy. I find a few books, that intrigue me, and right now, it's been kind of more leaning more indie than it has been more DC. It's very less Marvel. Marvel, if I'm reading a book there, it's freaking Peter David writing a Joe Fix-It, something that's like a throwback, something that's actually worth reading. Guggenheim on Days of Future Past, Doom. I'm loving that more. Now there are people who love the current X-Men stuff. More power to you, but I'm not going to spend over $100 on X-Men books.
I haven't met either one of them, Venkman.
I see them at my shop all the time, dude. They exist. I just don't understand the logic, though.
Here's the good news, though. The ESG money is slowly drying up, and without the ESG money, no matter how much they are ideologically committed to these people, they're going to have to throw them out one way or the other. And when that happens, will hopefully be the moment we or people who think like us can come in and fix things.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, the problem is, I mean, first off, is the corporate, overlords would actually have to notice them first. I mean, I think Days of Zaslav has no idea of what DC Comics is outside of, oh yeah, that's where we get the characters for the DC.
Right. It's an IP farm.
Like I said, if Disney were to drop Marvel, I think would be the first one to fix themselves, because it's either that or they go under and they're gone.
Let's see. You guys are not alive, young during the Image Malibu Comics days. The comic book industry will only reform when they fail again, says Cartoons and Comics. Well, 3 of us at least were up and running during the Image Malibu
I was running.
days.
I just was reading.
No, you were.
I was already slow. I was already not running as much because I was getting old already.
Yeah,
I was still buying comics as I was trying to figure out how to buy comics and support a family.
Yeah. Oh, that was for me. That was really my heyday. Was that Image Malibu? Ultraverse. I loved and devoured every book that I could get my hands on.
Ultraverse, yes.
Could you imagine the Ultraverse with the Image artists? That would have been
That would have been cool.
Yeah. Well, it was funny you mentioned McFarlane. I don't know if you saw his Flex video last week. He did this short video explaining what books he will and won't sign. And so his basic rule is, any book where, I either wrote it or drew it, or if it's a book that I didn't write or draw but has characters that I created, I will sign. So, for example, he holds up a Fantastic Four #1. So this book, see, I didn't write and I didn't draw it and I didn't create any of the characters in it, so I won't sign it. And he puts that down, and then I think he picked up? I think he did pick up an Action Comics #1, or I mean, it was just such a total flex.
It was really just showing off what he owned.
Yes.
Yeah, because I am rich. You made me rich. Thank you very much for making me rich.
I was
a great video though.
If Wes ever gets Todd McFarlane to do an Aficionados, my brother better not be on vacation. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. All righty, kids. We're headed for an hour 45. I had fun, by the way, reading and blasting this book. There's no other way I would want to read a book like that. If you guys have a bad comic that you think it would be fun for us to rip into and go through, please leave it in the comments, not the chat, but the comments when the video is posted. Let us know. Also, hit the like button if you like this, so we know this is the kind of content to do. I thank you very much to Venkman, to Dalton, to Eric, especially because I know this really, this was like a comic book wedgie.
Alton says, if you want any bad books to go through, just choose any of the Zeb Wells Spider-Man.
Any of the Zeb Wells? Yeah, I've heard that's pretty bad. The only one I read was the Death of Ms. Marvel, because it was the thing at the time. It's one of my. It's the most popular of the recent videos I've done over at From the Long Box. I just dropped the first appearance of the Skrulls. I'm about to do the Blue Beetle, and then I'm gonna do Devil Dinosaur. Get back on the Kirby cage. So.
Okay. Oh my God, I've got to share something with you here before we go.
Oh, hold on. Thank you very much for the super chat to Sting Forever. Ashton Jackal says, "All right, I'm sub now. Good night, all. Don't forget to hit that bell too." And every Monday night we do this. We have our and every Friday night we have kind of open mic. Maybe we do this, maybe we just talk kind of thing. On Tuesdays there is a we do more. Maranya hosts a role-playing game, the Marvel superhero role-playing game. Wednesday and Thursday is mine and Gail's night together, so usually I'm off, and there you
go. Okay, before we end, so I've been flipping through the trade paperback, Galaxy the Prettiest Star. It has the typical YA art that we've come to know and love from these DC graphic novels. So I'm about to put up a picture of how they drew her soon-to-be girlfriend, Catherine.
Oh, no. Why?
Can you see it?
No.
Oh, there it is.
Which one is that? Is that Galaxy or the Shamu that was lying on the floor in the apartment?
That's the Shamu that was lying on the floor.
I thought it was the white person.
Wow.
Well, no. So the basic story is that she is an exiled alien princess, but she is having to hide and having to disguise herself as a man.
This is like Doc McStuffin level bad.
And so then it becomes this trans coming out story.
Awesome. Let's see. Last thing, I hated the Blue Beetle. Thank gods that they didn't touch Bane. The director wants to. I've heard good and bad things, so I'm going to see it probably tomorrow, where I could catch a matinee. Not because.
And then I assume we're going to review it on the movie channel.
I would love to. By the way, I do recommend you guys search out a horror film called Cobweb. It was very good. Had a lot of fun. I finally caught up with Oppenheimer. I still haven't seen Sound of Fury, but I do need to talk about the summer hits and misses and such like that, and show off how well and how not well I did on my top 10.
Yeah. Well, and I will throw out. I know some people have not liked it, but I really enjoyed Heart of Stone, the new Gal Gadot action film on Netflix. I know some of the complaints are, she's, girl boss or Mary Sue or whatever. I kind of disagree with it because it makes sense. She's supposed to be, a top, elite, special agent, but she also screws up plenty in the course of the movie. And some of the fights were really, really well done. And so, yeah, I had just a blast with it. It just reminded me of a good old fashioned 90s style action movie.
Okay, because we're good at the 20-minute goodbye, 40-minute goodbye, Glenzer says, just stop comics at the Copper Age. Eric, what year or clump of years would you say stop reading at and your comic experience would be perfect? Like, what age from begin and end?
At this point, if I never read anything in my sober life, which would be 92 and up, I'd be good. Yeah. Not that there hasn't been a lot of good stuff since then.
Yeah.
But I'd be fine with that. But as far as like for younger folks, Marvel hit a creative spurt between 2005, 2010, 11. You can take everything after that and flush it. Yeah, DC really only. God, we were going great 7 years ago.
Yeah, the Rebirth era was really good.
Unfortunately, it just didn't last. So that's a loaded question. And honestly, that would be a good subject for a live stream someday because there's a lot of variables. And
you know what? I'm thinking about it myself to answer. And I think it's kind of like giving yourself the Corey Feldman haircut at the end of Friday the 13th, part 4, where he's got hair here, he's got hair here, he's got hair there. If you break it down to Marvel and DC, they're just, you want to read DC in the 40s and 50s. You want to read Marvel in the 60s. You want to read DC again in the 70s. Actually, both in the 70s and 80s. It's like they're just certain ages that, and you don't really want to read anything between 2013 and Rebirth. Just cut those comics straight out. Don't need them.
In my opinion, 2007 was the year that comics died because both Marvel and DC were in rare, awful form starting in 2007, and they never fully recovered. Because
Okay.
I mean, Marvel had Civil War and One More Day and stuff like that in 2007. They also, I believe that was also right around the time of the Illuminati happening. I don't recall exactly what was going on in DC in 2007, but I don't recall anything good or particularly good happening that
I
year
think
either.
Eric's right.
So
This deserves its own live stream where we can really get into it there, guys. So
I mean, I think it's interesting because I disagree completely with what Dalton says, but I can understand why someone of his age group could say that, and I can't disagree with him. You know, those of us that had been around forever, it was like for us, it's like for me, it was kind of like one last gasp because the first half of the like 2001 to 2005, Marvel, the regular Marvel universe was just so god awful that House of M and Civil War was a welcome return to continuity and giving a shit. Then One More Day happened,
and then they immediately went back to being DOA, and that's why I say, for me, yes, there were worse comics before 2007. Yes, there are definitely worse comics after 2007. Yes, there have been good, flecks here and there and everywhere all throughout. But I think 2007 was the year that comics died because that's the year when it seems like everyone just went on autopilot and stopped giving a crap.
kids. That's what we call a teaser.
there you go. Friday we can have this conversation. Friday 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we never get the second one wrapped up by then.
Yeah.
10:30.
All right, well, we'll shoot for 10:30. Are you gonna be around, Dalton?
I probably will. Yes.
All righty. There you go. MK, if I keep answering all questions, we're never leaving. Didn't you guys like Secret Wars 2?
No.
Yeah.
That's that question.
I never read it. Never read it.
Dalton, may I?
I'm
Boot to the head.
There you go.
honestly
All
trying
righty,
to-
guys. Once again, thank you very much, LK, to Eric, to Venkman, to Dalton, for joining us. It was a lot of fun. Once again, let us know in the comments if you
Really
like this
wish
kind
this
of
could have been
content. Say
whiskey.
yes. Say yes. I like this kind of content. And let us know what bad comics you might want to look at as well. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night, gang.
Good night, kids.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers, guys.